Call the meeting to order. To stand up to the Pledge of Allegiance. Go. Yeah.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll do roll call. We got Ron Bogger,
Here.
Jonathan Ford,
Absent.
got Michael Goldberg,
Here.
Rick Anderson, here, Carolyn Willis.
Here.
Okay.
We have to talk about any disclosure of conflict. I have visited the property, but I have not talked to anybody else.
I visited the property twice.
I've done a drive-by.
Yeah, same here, but
Okay. All right.
So I guess we can go with the presentation.
That's not yet.
Oh,
It's new, under new business for me.
okay.
So there isn't any special presentation. I guess we can go to public comment. Anyway.
So we public comment about this? No.
No. Anything else? Yeah.
Any other public comment?
Chairman, if you'd like to call for public comment for any items that are not on the agenda tonight,
Yes. Anybody have any public comment for the agenda tonight?
anything not on the agenda.
Not on the agenda.
Anything not on,
Anything not on the agenda?
seeing none, I think we can close and move on.
If not, we can close and move on. Thank you, Garrett.
All right.
Okay.
Staff reports, nothing to report. It's new. Next week, board members,
Nothing.
reports and announcements.
Nothing.
I guess this is where I asked this question. Kind of concerned that we haven't had any meetings over the last year and a half. Is there a change in the procedures, the administrative approvals?
No, there could be a couple approvals like that, but we just haven't had any.
Really just haven't, because monthly we would have them.
Get outside the guidelines right now, so, yeah,
It's been a slow year.
yeah.
That it?
That's it?
Anything else? Okay, we can move on.
Approval of the minutes. Sounds like there's some concern. Why don't we move that to next meeting? Let us do a review and make sure that we're all covered on that,
Okay.
okay?
So we're tabling the approval of the minutes to the next meeting?
Yes.
Okay. Okay with you, Garrett?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Any unfinished business? None? Okay, brings us to new business. We have a special exception, PZ 2523. This is in regards to a variance to allow a smoker to be put on a parking lot next to a business. Everybody familiar with what we're looking at here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we received a letter.
Letter.
No maps or diagrams or anything.
Okay. We do have some pictures if you guys want to pass these.
Love to see that.
Yeah.
How it will look. Here's another side of it.
I took pictures on my phone today, too.
I did as well.
So
That's
the
not it, though.
applicant- The applicant is going to
I think that Salty's just.
put this smoker in the parking lot next to the business, so they will not be
It's this one here.
using up any parking spaces of their
That's
own
an
business.
example of one that already exists.
Yeah.
And that's
Sorry, go ahead.
something That's something that we look at in zoning to make sure that you don't lose parking spaces for the business at hand. Currently, I think the business is going to be ran through the daytime when the parking lot is basically empty. So it shouldn't interfere with either business.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So the approval is just based on parking spaces and nothing else like fire department or zoning or anything like that?
Well, we did have the fire department go out there and take a look at it, and they approved the fact of where it was at, that it wouldn't affect the building. The main thing is putting a smoker or any kind of utilization of your own parking lot is something that the city kind of looks bad at. I shouldn't say bad, but they don't want you to use up any parking spaces in your property if you don't have enough for your own facility. And this facility is pretty limited for their parking spaces, so they're not utilizing any of their parking spaces for this expansion.
Who owns the parking lot now that they're using, are going to be using?
It's with Aces.
Okay.
It's going to be next door to their building.
Just to confirm, that's backed up against the dumpster?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are 4 dumpsters. When I looked at this, I see a couple of problems. I see 4 dumpsters, I see a car immediately parked next to the smoker. And I'm just wondering about those loose propane tanks, those refillable propane tanks. We just had the fire department inspect our condo complex and tell us that we had to move all refillable propane tanks had to be 10 feet away from the building. So I'm wondering, is there a different fire law that applies here? Or are those propane tanks not going to be within 10 feet of the building?
Should we have them make their presentation and then we can make comments after? Rather than debating this before their presentation?
Yeah, so right now it's staff's turn to present to the board what staff sees as the applicant meeting the criteria listed in the city's code.
Okay.
So maybe we should stay with staff until the presentation's complete. If you have any questions for staff, ask it then, and then at that point it'd be appropriate to open the public hearing and allow the applicant to come up and give their presentation.
I also had the same concern that he did. The one parking spot where this car is parked right now looks like the main entrance to Coastal Market from the parking lot. But if you put a car there, it kind of takes up that space. And I know they put in their proposal that they're gonna lease 2 spaces. I would thought it'd be a lot more, safety-wise if they leased 3 spaces and had 3 wide open spaces that gave you some border for
Yeah.
the smoker.
Like I said, we had Sal go out there from the fire department, and he approved where it was set up and the distances that they require. I think what you're seeing right now is probably a kind of a setup, but it's not there yet. I think all the equipment's there, but it's not set up like it's going to be.
So you're saying that trailer hitch won't buck up against that open parking spot?
I'll leave that to the applicant to decide, but
Okay.
I think what Sal had approved was within the fire department's guidelines.
What about the Board of Health? Do they have anything to say about this?
I don't think they come in at all on this.
Backed up against the
For
dumpster?
where it's gonna be located.
Is this going to be, is there somebody going to be manning this the whole time that it's being used? In other words, somebody going to be in
Yeah,
it?
that won't be with the staff, that's gonna be.
Point of order,
Okay.
staff question.
Okay.
Any other questions for,
No, I think we all have kind of the same concern about space surrounding the smoker, right?
Not at that point yet, but,
Yeah, just want a little clarification.
All right, very good. So if there are no more questions for staff, Mr. Chairman, it'd be appropriate to open up the public hearing and ask the applicant to come up and give their presentation.
Applicant, please come up, make your presentation, address our concerns.
Hello, board members. I'm Mark Granger, partner with Rusty Buchanan. We're partners in Coastal Market, Cocoa Beach. And yeah, the applicant, we're the applicants. Yes, we have a lease for 3 parking spaces.
Oh,
We have very good terms with the owner. And to set the record straight, it's not Aces. Aces is a tenant. It's 74 Orlando LLC.
Yeah, you're right.
And it's Mr. Eugene DuPont, very nice gentleman. This parcel is not attached, it's not part of the nightclub. It is a separate taxable parcel on its own. It's just a parking lot. He said, whatever you guys need. We have a lease for 3, we made the lease for 3 spaces. Since the whole point is, we have a kitchen that's not big enough to accommodate, and when you're smoking, it's an outdoor thing. And Salty Sisters has an outdoor cooker, other places have it. We just don't have the room, and so that's when it occurred to us, oh, if we could just put it to the side. It's important for us that it works with our customers and the traffic that comes through. As far as the propane bottles, yeah, Sal said 10 feet from the building, so everything is 10 feet from the building. And obviously, we have to operate under the purview of the fire department. He doesn't like something, it has to get changed, so, but he said what we've applied for is fine, the trailer's 10 feet away. Yeah, there's a car there now, but once we get granted approval, if we do get lucky enough to get granted approval, there won't be we'll have the 3 spaces, so there won't be a spot there.
So you'll be putting up some kind of border around that third space?
Yeah, and then
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and then the other question, it's always manned when it's operated. It'll always be somebody in attendant. As a matter of fact, we have our chef with us. This is Mr. Danny Beard.
Good evening, y'all.
He's an award-winning cook, and he's won literally major awards for barbecuing. So we're pretty excited to be able to bring this to downtown. Rusty and I bought the Coastal Market. We really are trying hard. If you haven't been in a while, we're really trying to turn it around and make it a place. It really used to be popular, and it kind of wasn't as popular. We want to make it more popular. We bought Oasis Shaved Ice this past summer when Miss Vicki was losing her lease, 17 years in business, and we brought it into the store, and now we have Shaved Ice. We're keeping that going. Rusty's been a resident of Cocoa Beach for how long?
Oh, God, way too long.
Way too long.
34 years.
34 years.
Ran the
So-
sports commission for 26, so know most everyone in here, at least have passed by everybody.
So we're trying to make the Coastal Market that offer everything the community wants and, be a good place where people want to go. And so we're just asking for you guys to approve the ability. We have the lease with Mr. DuPont. The location's perfect. It's 10 feet away from the building, but it's close enough. There's nothing around. And if you guys wanted to also, I've got some like photos of aerial maps with distances, but it's quite a ways away. There's nothing nearby. It's a low smoke smoker, so we don't, it's not going to be a nuisance. The nearest, our normal winds are out of the southeast. It's blanketed by the building, and to head downwind from there, it would take you all the way to the corner down by Pompano Grill. It's a football field away. I don't think you could find an area more isolated than this one spot anywhere in downtown Cocoa Beach. And we're happy to answer any questions.
Sure.
Did the boardroom next door have any issue with it? I mean,
Well, I own the board.
He owns the boardroom.
your board,
We're good with it.
you're good with it, okay.
Boardroom is good with
No,
it.
we're good with it.
I was good with it when I heard that Sal looked at it and code enforcement Jay, right? So, yeah.
What temperature does this thing get to?
We cook, it can go up to about 300, but when we're cooking these type of meats, it's right around 225, 250. The back of the smoker, I heard somebody worried about the propane tanks. The back of the smoker is a little over, I think it was 10 foot 8 inches, how we had it positioned this morning. And the propane tanks are another 8 to 9 feet away from the back edge of the smoker. They're all on the front side. So it's probably minimum 17 to 20 feet away from the building itself where the propane would be at.
Can we see those aerial photos?
Absolutely. I'm not saying.
we'll have to-
better than cities,
The
but,
city will have to retain those for the record once you
Sure.
show them, so, very good, thanks.
I only have singles of everything, but I've got 3 of the smoker, and these are the aerials.
And just to let y'all know, this is a smoker you would see in Sonny's. It is a commercial grade, self-contained. It's all contained within its own unit. There is
Yeah, we
no
got it.
open fire. There's firebox that's sealed and,
Could you repeat that this smoker would be approved for inside use?
yeah, you go to a Sonny's barbecue, it's what they have built in their walls. I just have this one on a trailer, so it's transportable. It
And
is a commercial grade smoker.
you guys have already purchased and presently own the smoker?
Yes.
Okay. In the event that the board, this is approved, how long between the approval and the beginning of smoking of meats?
Mark, I'll let you
Funny,
answer that.
we're not supposed to advertise, but it just so happens this coming Saturday, if we're fortunate enough to get approved, they're doing a cookie soiree with vendors in our parking lot, and we were planning on doing samples and demonstrating the smoker to the community.
You guys gonna smoke brisket?
Really asking?
Not Saturday.
Not Saturday. We're gonna do ribs and chicken on Saturday, they take about 4 hours, 4 to 5 hours. where brisket's gonna take you anywhere from 12 to 18, depending on the condition.
Whose insurance is covering this?
In charge of what?
Whose insurance?
Coastal Mall.
Coastal, we're all covered up.
You're covered it even though it's not on your property?
Yeah.
You have
It's
a
on our
lease.
leasehold. See, the coastal market's a leasehold, and this is a leasehold. So our insurance covers our leasehold. The other thing that I wanted to reiterate, it's in the application, is this is just another appliance for the coastal market to prepare food. The customers will go into the coastal market to purchase. This isn't like a vendor, street vendor thing. So we just want our customers to be able to come in addition to getting a sub or one of our prepared meals to go, oh, I saw you have the smoker, I'll do some ribs. And they pay at the market, and we want them to eat. We finished up a nice deck out front, we have a nice little patio area, and that's our goal, is just to bring in more of the local community and make it another
Just
alternative place.
enhance the downtown.
Do you have a vision of how you're gonna secure that third parking space?
So as far as like the tongue, are you concerned about, or?
Well, it's wide open right now, and I think part of our concerns was having enough space around the burner. And the main entrance walkway into Coastal from the parking lot borders right next to the burner. So I was concerned if a car was there, which you've answered, there won't be a car. But how do we ensure there's not gonna be a car there? What are we gonna do, put a border around
Coming
it?
up, or whatever we have to do, but obviously it wouldn't benefit us to let a car park there. So
Yeah.
Right,
I would think a cone, but the burner is in the back.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, so the tongue is where the people will, where someone would come out to go
Yeah.
get to and from the coastal market.
I'm just curious, I mean, obviously, you don't walk into the smoker, you're standing outside the smoker and using it from the outside.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So what about, like, inclement weather, what about 3 days of pouring rain?
Just won't do it.
It's, if I want to stand out in the rain, it would still cook. It is self-sufficient. It is all, the burner, the wood box, everything is all inside that unit.
What kind of wood you gonna smoke with?
Pecan is my choice. It's a lot less, it's a lower smoke, lower carbon, so you don't get all the soot on the meat. It's got a milder smoke than an oak or a hickory or, what's the other one? Not mahogany. Mesquite, excuse me.
How do you get,
Yeah.
how do you get pecan out here? Where does pecan come?
I bring it out of North Florida.
Okay, so they got pecan in North Florida, okay.
And what's the weight of your meat that you're going to be cooking? Why are you asking questions like this? I'm concerned about safety and security at this point. Let's talk about safety. You have a hot thing in the parking lot with people that park there and go to the beach and come to the beach. How are we going to address that? As far as security goes, again, at night, people coming through, playing with it, you're taking it, you're taking propane. It's right out there for anybody to,
So anytime it's hot, it's gonna be attended.
right?
It'll be attended, so there won't be anybody walking.
What do you
Yeah,
define
but
as hot?
I know what he's talking about. I was gonna ask the same thing, because if you go there, if you drive by at like 1, 2 in the morning, there's a bunch of drunk people, like he's saying. How do you know they're not gonna mess with the propane tanks? I was thinking the same thing, and I was concerned about that. Is there a way you can secure it?
Well, what we can do, and I brought it in yesterday just to get it set up. The propane tanks on there are empty. I gotta go refill those. Number one, we can secure the propane tanks inside so they're not even on the grill. The part about being hot, there's only one little section, and it's the firebox door. It's the big black kind of octagonal door there that will get a little heat, but you can go up and lay your hand on this thing pretty much anywhere, and it will not burn you. It's insulated, it keeps all its heat inside. That's why the smoke it all contains. It cooks a lot better than like a regular, like you see these old propane tank grills and all that a lot of these people use. You go up and lay your hand on that, it's gonna burn you. This is, like I said, it's a commercial, it's a $40,000 grill, brand new. And it is meant for commercial use. I bought this thing about 2 years ago. I do a lot of charity events for children. I just got off a big one 2 weeks ago. We do a lot of stuff for veterans. I cook competition barbecue for 30 plus years. Now I just do kind of the charitable stuff till I got involved with Mark and Rusty here, and it sounded like a great idea that we could bring it in, supply something to downtown Cocoa Beach, and have some fun.
You know, you provided another photo of a sample of another smoker that has decorations around it. It sounds like a great solution for this application,
Or gate around it or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
to build something around it.
Yeah.
I kind of feel you haven't addressed any security or safety issues
Yeah.
with this, and you're leaving this wide open for, I've been in this town a long time also. That kind of thing is a torture. And I need to be more comfortable that you guys are addressing that issue.
Sure.
I'm not as worried about the heat, but the vandalism, you're in a very proper spot.
Propane tanks.
Isn't vandalism their problem? I mean,
It's everybody.
respectfully,
It's everybody.
like,
Oh, at
but
this,
they're the ones that,
oh,
what's not,
Mr. Chairman, or if we can direct the talk between the board until after the public
Okay.
hearing's closed,
Okay, fine.
that way we can just get the facts from the, and we can always ask them back up after the public hearing's closed to address questions.
Yeah, we're amenable to any suggestions.
No, I undertake.
Have you discussed a different location, perhaps behind your building?
Well, I've actually owned the building for almost 30 years now. So I know exactly what kind of issues that you're talking about. We've addressed it. We've seen everything you can imagine go on. So when we first started looking at this, one of the things we were thinking about was the back of the building. Unfortunately, I don't know if you remember when the entrance to the, or whatever it is now, Aces, moved from the front to the back. That created a big issue for us with stuff that we had in the back. So the back.
I don't recall when that ever happened.
So one of the things that we have done, I don't know if you've seen our building at night, but we do have motion activated lights all across the side of our building that's got the bird painted on it. We did sell, but Mark and I also own Island Boat Lines, a dolphin tour business. And the building is now owned by that, and Coastal Market is simply a tenant. So what we've done is just to ensure that there's not, and there, occasionally they'll get homeless people. We have a nice deck out there, it's covered. So we're aware that we have taken as many steps we can to mitigate the people from congregating around there. And the motion activated lights we found was pretty well, because somebody sees up and the lights come on, they move it. So that was one of the things that we did.
We're talking about doing that.
Well, they are on the side of our building now, facing the dumpsters and the smoker. There's motion activated lights.
So where is the entrance of your market that the food will be coming in? I mean, how far from here to, like, is it behind your kitchen?
No, the front door to the market is where the food will go in.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
like.
It's gonna be treated like a kitchen.
Yeah, it's basically, it's an outdoor.
It's expanded kitchen.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is Salty Sisters, right?
Yep. Yeah, we didn't take that. The city did.
Would you consider putting something around this to keep people away from it? And you compare to them, they have a little safety thing around it, and it is secured with a fence behind it. You have something in front to keep people wandering over there.
Oh, if the applicant's going to reply, if you could reply into the mic just so we can capture it for the record. Sorry, have to be.
Yeah, I think of some sort of barricade thing. I don't know if we can build a big wooden bar like that in the parking lot, but we'd be happy to do
I think we're all concerned about security,
Sure.
keeping it protected.
Especially with the pressure vessels that
Yeah.
the tanks being exposed, I could see somebody coming up and just,
Well, we can store the
Yeah.
tanks inside.
Yeah.
There's
Take
no
those
problem
off.
at all.
but I agree with some kind of fence or barrier, yeah.
We can figure it out.
If you can, we haven't discussed yet, but it seems like we're going there. If that's something you would consider, we're allowed to put.
We wouldn't consider it, we would agree to do it.
The board can make those two particular items conditions of the special exception, and that way, if there's ever a violation and code enforcement finds out there's not, strict adherence to those conditions, it comes back to the board for reevaluation. It goes through the code process, but you can always go back and look at the conditions as well.
Is
But if-
there a problem storing propane tanks indoors?
Well, we have a shed, a lot
Oh,
of shed
okay.
in the back, that's where we would store them.
Okay.
Corey, did anyone go on record opposing, complaining, or anyone that was noticed?
We've just opened the public hearing, so we don't know yet.
We're not there yet.
Well, I mean, sometimes there's email correspondence prior to, so my question was regarding,
Right, there was no email.
Okay.
No, I did have one phone call asking about where it's gonna be, and that was all that she was concerned about.
And notice was given like it always is?
Yes, sir.
Any other parts of the presentation, or is that it?
Unless you've got any more questions?
Well, I'm going to see if we have public comment.
All right, thank you so much. We're going to ask other folks if they'd like to comment. Yeah, so anyone else who'd like to
Yeah.
speak?
Anybody else like to comment on the proposal?
All right.
No? Okay. Then I guess we should do the board comments, right?
Yep, so we're going to close the public hearing now. So if you
All
want to
right,
do
we're
that.
closing the public hearing.
Very good.
For this proposal, and we'll turn it over to the board to discuss.
And just for the benefit of the board, I just talked to Corey. I don't believe staff circulated a proposed order for this special exception. Staff did have a few recommended conditions to accompany this, and I'd like to read those to you now, just so you all know it. The first condition is
Do you have a
that,
copy of that so we can read it?
do you have a copy right there? Yeah. So first is that the smoker must be at least 10 feet from the property line. And I'm guessing that's the property line of the parcel that it would be located on. The grill, or the smoker shall not interfere with any site visibility and any intersections, which I don't think would be an issue here, and that the setup and operations are subject to inspection by the chief building official and/or the fire marshal. Granting the special exception would not exempt these applicants from any provisions of the Florida Fire Safety Prevention Code. So all those regulations still apply. So they're still going to have to comply with all those Florida Building Code and other fire safety code measures.
If item 3 wasn't included, would it not be subject to inspection by the building officer or fire marshal?
No, it still would be. That's what I'm saying.
So it's redundant?
It's just in there for everyone to know that that's a condition of the order. So if the board wants to take it out, the board can take it out, but that's what staff's included. The other two items that I heard from the board that I wrote down here, that if anyone wants to make a motion here in a moment, to include a physical barrier to delineate the smoker from the surrounding area, to address safety concerns, and then the second would be to store any propane tanks in a different location when the grill's not in use or the
Those are the
smoker's
two
not
I
in use.
had.
Why does what you hand me reference a special exception to allow for a state licensable marijuana dispensary in the Gateway zoning district?
Wrong one.
Oh, we didn't.
You're in the wrong meeting.
Maybe that was this copy from.
Okay.
Sorry.
Because it's got the smoker and grill. So are they also going to be selling dope?
How else are they going to light their joints? The burner.
We'll make sure that's,
I guarantee you smoked meat sales will go up.
yeah.
Yeah, dual service.
I think that's, I think it's.
So this is conditional to a physical barrier. Who approves the final design of the physical barrier to ensure that it complies with what we are requesting? I mean, it seems pretty vague just to say, quote, unquote, a physical barrier. Who would have the final say on the design of that and, how it's constructed?
Yeah, so if the board wants to ask the applicant to come back to see what they're maybe thinking about doing, and we include more details in the condition, but ultimately the city would go out and evaluate to make sure that there's compliance, but it's only regarding whatever we put in the order, right? So sometimes you do these to keep them a little vague, to allow the applicant enough room to sort of, make it work, so to speak, but certainly if we want, more detail, or if you want certain standards, we have to put it in the order.
I don't think it's that complicated. I mean, how long is a parking spot?
Yeah, but
Wait, hold on, John. Let me finish. How long is the length of the parking?
Come up to the mic.
That's a good question.
parking spots generally 12 feet.
No, 9 feet. 9 feet is a standard parking spot.
The applicant can come up to the mic.
Yeah, 10 is a large one, but
I mean, you got
most
it.
malls and are 9 feet.
And we have it striped. I mean, you can look at this and see you want the border. The
Yeah.
border should go right at the end of the striped lines.
Right.
Because you got enough, I mean, the burner doesn't take up the car length, so you got all that space they could do for the 3 spaces.
Well, Mark and I were just speaking, it did bring up a good point. We do need to put something there, because you'd hate, even though we have 3 parking places, we don't want somebody come whipping into that third place that's ours and hit the tongue of the trailer.
Right.
So that does make a very valid point. So whatever we can come up with something, if the city approves it, we'd be happy to do it.
And I'm just,
Alternatively, the applicant has an interest in people not burning themselves, people not vandalizing their stuff. The applicant has an interest in that not happening. It's bad business, you're gonna get sued, you're gonna have to notify. We may not have to tell, an option is to not overcomplicate this and us be involved in micromanaging how, I'm confident, because if I had a smoker, if I had a $40,000 appliance, I'm going to protect it from vandalism, I'm gonna do all those things because it's in their interest. I am personally of the mind that we need additional government involvement to tell them how to protect drunks from their stuff. I don't believe the applicant has a history of harming drunks. I don't believe, that's a reach. So, and I'm just not do anything.
They've come here to seek our approval, so we do have to get involved.
No,
Not government overreach to say you need a permanent.
And without the border, I would not approve it.
I'm just saying, I'm of the opinion we could do nothing and allow them to regulate themselves.
They have not brought this idea on their own, therefore they weren't thinking that.
Yeah, okay, like I said, I'm 1 of 5, I'm just saying we could.
They're willing to do that. I think the word permanent or fixed barrier should be in there. I think just put a garbage in there and say that barrier. Something attached into the ground.
if I could, Mr.
Correct,
Goldberg.
it's not just to block cars out of that parking space, it's to secure the entire area around.
Permanent and temporary.
If I could just, I'm thinking off the top of my head, we do have a couple restrictions. It is a trailer, it's not permanent. It will be going to events, coming and going. So not every day, but it will be, so we can't have a fixed, can't make it into a barricaded corral where it can't get out. But I know, we employ a very good craftsman who loves woodwork, and I'm envisioning a nice 2x10 base that goes at like an angle like this, and where the parking lot is, rail that comes up and has a cap rail that we can then move out of the way. Nothing that's, we're not talking light timber, but something that's substantial enough to protect the thing and be there. So the trailer there, that's there, and that's the barricade. But I'm open to, like I said, I like Mr. Gavor's opinion that we don't need to be protected from our, we are grown, we have a business. Every other business has to deal with risk of vandalism and the risk of theft and the risk of this. However, we don't want to bring any undue risks. And
You're in a parking lot. I think you keep rushing by that. You're parking in a parking lot. People come and go out of the parking lot. Everybody else is like slow and low. It's not going in the back.
But there's
In their
no
property.
through, it's against, that's why we put it where it is. It's not.
The
out-
people are always walking there. You even have people walking from your business to that parking lot. I mean, the temptation is too great. Personally, I think it's ugly as hell. I would almost want to see it on something. But I'm not going to go there on this situation. I don't need to force my views of pretty and not pretty on everybody. But security is an issue. You don't want to tempt people. It really should be isolated. There are ways to make things isolated and get it in and out.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that difficult to engineer something that will allow you to hook up to the trailer and pull it out of there.
Sure.
But I mean, it needs, I'm
Saying the
more,
dumpsters don't-
not just a knee-high barrier, but something that actually physically blocks people from getting in there when it's, when it's not in use.
I mean, your dumpsters are protected to keep it looking a little nicer and keep all the crap in there. All the other things. This isn't much nicer than a dumpster, no offense. It's a big metal object.
It's your $40,000 trailer.
Are dumpsters required to be enclosed under ordinance? Are they, is that,
They are.
Under whose ordinance? Local beaches?
I don't know, some places I've got dumpsters that aren't, I was wondering about jurisdiction.
Yeah.
So I believe you, it's a
Um,
design standard.
Me personally, that's my concern with this. I will not vote yes if I don't think this is safe.
Well, we'd like to add those two contingencies that Garrett mentioned. One is a secure border around the unit, and how you got to figure out the vision to get that.
To that effect? I don't know how we would.
Well, obviously, it would come back to us, and we required that, we would certainly be in favor of allowing that
Well, they're
variance.
leasing the space, so
Correct.
they lease 3 spaces, so I'm sure that's what they're leasing for, what
Is
they can
there-
do with.
Sorry. Is there an opportunity to allow staff to approve, to put in this provision, but then not have to have another hearing, or to either, so I guess my question, staff, is, can we agree, if we do go down there where we say that we have to grant a barrier, can we say, okay, you gotta have a barrier, subject, give them their approval so they can start smoking, give them 30, 60 days to do their barrier, subject to staff approval, they submit you, staff happy, done, that way it's not coming back to us, you know. I trust staffs, I'm not in the regulating their fence business, you know, like, what you're saying are fine, and I agree if that's the will of the board, so be it. But I'm confident that we can delegate that to staff. Staff can say, yeah, this looks like a good barrier. Give them 60 days to do it, let them start smoking when they want to start smoking, and then, is that an option?
Yes, so city staff have to enforce the terms of this order
Okay.
anyways. So anything that they do pursuant to the order, right, we're going to have to ensure compliance with it. So if it's not something that staff's comfortable with, then would go the different route or in conjunction with the applicant, come back to the board to clarify exactly what's needed.
Well, that being said, and I agree with John here, I mean, if they have to get a fence or whatever they're putting up there, that's not in the city rules. They should have to pay to yes again to get rid of it. Is there a way to waive that fee if it does happen?
Or like I said, just make compliance the judgment of staff. And then, because you could direct staff, you can talk to staff if you want, and give staff feedback. Like, what I'm saying is if it's something you feel strongly about and have ideas, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, that the board could give staff direction on that and do it that way.
Yeah, I'm fine with that, but
I have no desire to do it, so.
again, I just look at assurances, it's actually a physical barrier that prevents people from getting into the area.
Yeah,
I'd like it worded that way.
Well, it's pretty simple in my mind. They've secured at least 3 parking spaces. They need to secure the 3 parking spaces. That's it. Figure it out.
Well, my intent, I'm not intending you guys, I'm not even thinking closing it. I'm thinking on the north side, there should be a barrier. Even on the west side, I don't care if it's wide open.
Does Slow and Low smoke outside?
There's a sure up there.
Yeah.
I thought that's Salty Sisters.
Salty Sisters.
Yeah. Yes.
So I'm just
Lolo's
cautious-
backed up to the back of their building.
Okay, and do they have barbed wire around, like, what is keeping people from climbing? I am cautious to ask the petitioner to do something more restrictive
They have
than
a
what is.
6-foot fence
They have, okay.
separating that from everybody.
And that's.
Correct, and it's
I
fully
just don't want
enclosed on their
anything
own
more
property.
onerous on the applicant or the petitioner than what anyone else enjoys presently in the city.
But yes, I was just there, that's all enclosed with a.
Okay.
If I may, I'm a partner in Dirty Birds, The Alibi, 4th Street Filling Station. Rusty and I own Cocoa Beach Dolphin Tours. He's had a bar at that location of this building decades ago. We're not an upstart, and I hope you guys can feel comfortable that you can vote yes and walk away and know that we're not a little upstart that came in from out of town and wants to start this newfangled idea and is going to leave when it doesn't work. If it doesn't work, we just take it away, and that's the other thing. We don't even intend to operate it 7 days a week. We're going to start out like a 3-day.
I don't think anybody's giving you any kind of negative vibes. We just want a security issue with a border on it.
You bring up
that's all.
valid points because we weren't prepared. We were just like, yeah, it's part of our business. We're gonna have the outdoor cooker. We'll cook and all that. When he told us that you can't get burned by touching it, that was when we were like, okay, well, that sounds pretty good to us. But we're happy to, as responsible businessmen, we're happy to make our council happy. So.
Is there a lock?
And I don't think we should get too restrictive. I agree with John. I don't think we should get too restrictive about the barrier. It's good that it's there, but that's kind of your interest if you don't want that vandalized. I am concerned, we have the provision in there to store the pressure vessels with the propane, because that could extend far out to other people. So I think that's really important, so, yeah.
On the propane tank, will have a safety valve. You can go there and crank them all open, and they will not go unless there is a regulator plugged into them.
I have to have a barrier to support it, I'm sorry, but, and for the record, I'm in favor, and I know you've been to Cocoa Beach, a lot for Cocoa Beach, and I do appreciate that, and I try to find a way to, if somebody has a creative idea or a new idea, I'm in favor of that as well. I'm just concerned with the design of this the way it is. I just need to see a physical barrier that prevents people from getting in there.
Is that enough direction, Corey, to give to the staff that they can implement
We're
it?
still thinking about barrier there. There should be some there. At least
I'll agree to that.
Yeah.
does the board have any other questions for the applicant at this time? Or are we just going to discuss
Does this
language?
thing lock?
Lock is
Yeah,
there.
well, someone can't open up, even though it's cold, they want to sleep in it, I don't know.
I can put a lock on the doors.
Just like a
It would
refrigerator.
take much to get inside it, but we can lock the doors.
Or even, are you securing the trailer itself?
It's like,
I mean, I just,
Trailer has a ton
you know,
of-
you go in a lot of businesses apparently. I'm trying to think in my mind, I've been around all your businesses. I don't ever see anything exposed like this in any of your businesses.
Dirty Birds is pretty exposed.
Entire length, I mean, bushes are that high, but that's just.
But I mean, I'm talking about kitchen, I'm talking about kitchen type. Yeah. I don't, you can get in, but I don't, like when you walk down that alley, there's no cooker out there, there's nothing that doesn't have anything in front of it.
Well, I think we've kind of reached a conclusion here that the two issues that are to be added to the conditions.
Sure, and if there aren't any other questions for the applicants, we can let them sit down.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you.
We as a board sit on fixed or permanent site or anything to that effect?
I'm of the mind to keep it open-ended and let staff, because it fixed, okay, so for example, you could, you know, like a portable, if you want to be real safe, put a giant, ugly, portable 6-foot chain link fence around it, okay? The gate on it, okay? Look like crap, keep everyone out, it would accomplish the goals. And that would, then they're not having to dig up their parking lot. Now, personally,
Matching the gates that's in front of the dumpsters,
no. So if the goal is exclusion,
right?
keeping, and to me, a hot vessel is exclusive by nature, but if we need to make it additionally exclusive, you'd put a giant 6-foot chain link fence around it. Get one of those like temporary ones like you see with concerts, parades, call it a day. That allows them flexibility. They don't have to drill or do anything in the parking lot. That solves the problem there. Point is I'm open to letting staff determine, I'm not gonna dictate the design of it. If you wanted something nice, you would make it out of wood and you'd frame it in nice so they could drive in and drive out. Then it wouldn't be such an eyesore, but that's not gonna exclude people from coming in. The chain link fence is.
Well, I'm not trying to,
No, but it
I'm
will
not
give
trying to
them a
dictate.
border not to get close to it and protect it. That's what we're trying to do.
Right, I'm not trying to dictate what it is, but I'm also trying not to allow it to be a couple garbage cans in there. We have,
I agree, yeah.
you know, that's probably not their intention. I know they're good businessmen, they make nice businesses, but we as a board have a responsibility to not allow these little loopholes.
I think they run a nice place and they don't need us telling them how to make their business look nice. I think-
We're not.
I don't
We're
think they're
just-
gonna-
we're
I don't
just-
think they're gonna put trash.
We're not
cans
how to make it
in.
look nice, but we're telling them how to not make it look like crap.
Yeah, and if you have a business and you have a $40,000 appliance, you're inclined not to just throw a bunch of trash cans around it, and you don't need me telling you how to make your business
Right.
look nice.
But again, didn't have a plan for that, so you.
Yes, sir.
That's your business.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. This is something that staff does on a regular basis. We get general direction from commissions, from planning boards, from Board of Adjustments, code special magistrates. This is something we generally deal with. That's why you have us, is to understand the intent of the board's.
Excuse me, who are you?
My name's Dave Dickey. I'm the Development Services Director. I'm responsible for building and code enforcement and planning and all of that kind of fun stuff.
Thank you.
Yep. I've been doing this for 35 years. I've been doing this for a long time. And so during those years, I've had an opportunity to take the intent of citizen boards and put them into play and make sure that the city can be proud of it. And we're not going to allow something to happening in our downtown that nobody's going to be proud of. We're going to make sure it's done well and your intent implemented.
Have we given enough direction?
Yes. And now there's always a fail-safe from the board. If you go over there and you see something you don't like, you can always come back at the next board meeting and we'll have further discussion about it. So don't feel like you're locked into something. If something got lost between the board's communication and our interpretation of what the intent was, there's recourse. So don't feel like you're being locked in.
The only issue I'm seeing here is I don't think the complete consensus on the board. We have every opinion from no barrier at all to a permanent physical barrier, and I'm not sure that the board has a unanimous consent as to what we are asking for, and we need to come to some kind of an agreement so that we can give direction.
To echo David's statement there, as I said earlier, I like to draft these orders a little more generally, a little broader, just to allow for some flexibility between the applicant and staff. And to the commissioner's earlier point, this is what staff does every day, right? We make sure that whatever the board's decision is, what is reflected out there. So I do have some updated language based on what I've heard, so if I may share it, I think the one that's, the board agrees on generally is store the propane tanks off premise when the grill's not in use. So the least space here are those 3 spaces, so I think just referring to it as off premises is appropriate, and they understand that, because that's the specific area we're granting special exception. The other condition would be the placement of a physical buffer around the leased premises. I think that's broad enough to where, it could be permanent, it could be movable to suit their needs, because it sounds like they need an ingress, egress
Yeah.
point for the trailer. But it gets to the concern of, we don't want someone accidentally backing into the tongue of this thing, or we don't want someone tripping over the tongue late at night after a few drinks, right? So
Exactly.
I think that language incorporated into the order, along with the other 3,
I support that draft language.
the other 3 conditions, which I'll read again just for the benefit of the board, if anyone wants to make a motion, that the grill must be at least 10 feet from the property line, the grill shall not interfere with site visibility at intersections, and the setup and operations, again, are subject to inspection by the chief building official and the fire marshal. That would be the case anyways, but
And Garrett, I'd also like to give them the opportunity and the ability to have their event this weekend. So I know they won't have a berry up by then, but come up with something in the meantime.
if this gets approved tonight, it'll get signed in the next day or so, so it'll be effective.
Just a thought on the language on the propane. Why wouldn't you just make the language on the propane say, okay, so generally propane storage, my experience is that's subject to fire marshal and so why would we make it should be, propane should be stored in a manner that, the language would say the propane should be stored in a manner that is consistent with the fire code, like, I don't want to redraft fire code, like, fire marshal knows better than me where to put a propane tank. They are subject to the enforcement and regulation of the fire marshal under there. I'm just a dude on a board. Fire marshal, he's the propane guy. So I would rather see them comply with his will and desire rather than.
Well, I think it's twofold. I think it's not only safety, but also security. Security also.
Well, I mean, does the fire code say to take it off the premises?
Yeah.
That was, the only reason I drafted that little clause was from what the direction I was hearing from the board, that you didn't want the propane stored
Yeah.
on premise when the grill wasn't in use.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know what the fire code says, so.
Fire code's not going to require them to remove the propane tanks off of that trailer every night.
Okay.
Do we require anyone else that's cooking with propane to remove their propane tanks like this? Okay, so they should be treated the same as everyone else within the
If
city.
the other businesses have their propane or their cooker in the parking lot? Maybe.
Maybe, but we should not make things more onerous on the petitioner than anyone else.
Look, it's not.
You ask for a special exemption, that's
It's
our
a unique
job.
situation.
Okay,
If
that's
we-
fair. Like I said, that's.
Yeah.
One person at a
He's
time
already
talking,
agreed to
please.
it.
That I may, propane tanks will be secured.
Yeah.
in a-
I mean, they could lock them
They'll
right
be
in place,
secured.
right?
We're going to put them in a shed, they're going to be secured.
Okay. You got it as a condition.
Those are the 5 conditions. So
Okay.
if there was a motion to approve the special exception request, you would say, I move to approve the request for special exception subject to the conditions discussed
Anybody
here.
want to make that motion, so we don't belabor this any longer?
Sure, I make a motion to approve special exception with the 5 conditions that he read in.
Anybody want a second?
Is that legally acceptable? Don't we have to quote the statute, the number and everything?
They didn't print it out, so I don't know how we're gonna do that.
It's special exception request PZ 25-23. So if you'd like to amend your motion.
I'd like to amend my motion to what you said.
All right, so just for clarification for the record, it's a motion to approve special exception PZ-25-23, subject to the 5 conditions recommended by staff.
All right.
Second
so
that.
We already got a motion to approve. We need a second.
Second.
Second. Carolyn?
I second it.
Okay.
So you called a vote.
All right. Then we do now a vote.
You, all in favor, say aye, all opposed, say nay, and
Right, is it a roll call?
Is Don still the chair?
would the chair like to make it a roll call?
You make it a roll call, please.
All right.
Okay.
Start with you.
Yes.
The Corey will call the roll.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Okay, Ronald,
Aye, approve.
John Gordon.
Aye.
Michael Grover.
Approve.
Rick Anderson
Approve.
and Carolyn Willis.
Yes.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to a brisket sandwich.
Now you're smoking.
Be there.
Cookie soiree.
All right.
In the boardroom. And sampling of goodies.
Huh, we done?
We need
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
We have another,
Oh.
for some reason, we have another public comment on the agenda, but you can call it again.
Do we have any other public comments?
Seeing none, we can
None? Okay, we can close. I make a motion to adjourn.